AgriHQ Livestock Insight Report Update. I'm AgriHQ analyst Sarah Friel, and I'll be taking you through last week's North Island and South Island AgriHQ Livestock Insight Reports. Firstly, I really hope everyone had a great break over Christmas and New Year and managed to get some time off farm and out of the office. Evidently, there was still a few people on holiday last week, and there was a little bit less store activity to report on in both the North and South Island, so we turned out two slightly shorter reports. However, there was a lot of international activity to report on, with the Brexit deal being finalised on Christmas Eve. This finalisation is good news because it gives everyone a bit more certainty on what to expect in 2021, although there is the prospect of the New Zealand sheep meat and beef quota for the UK and EU, which was shared, being split 50-50, and this would limit New Zealand exporters' flexibility to move products between those two markets with a lot of ease, really, is what we're doing at the moment, and also sell effectively to demand. However, at the moment and in recent years, we've not really been meeting that quota, so we've got a lot less reliance on the UK and the EU market for our products. So at the moment, it's not looking too dire, but we will be keeping a very close eye on that situation as it develops. Another UK news story, they went into lockdown on last Monday, and as we know now, lockdowns always impact food services. It's just a given. This happens in a pretty significant period for New Zealand, as it's right in the middle of our Easter lamb trade, which runs through to about April. However, it's not too scary at the moment because a lot of that product ends up on supermarket shelves, which will remain operational. And at the moment, we're seeing pretty good sales of that product, and actually frozen prices are looking really good compared to the end of last year, so that's a big positive. On the domestic side of things, and beef farm gate slaughter prices did take a back step compared to the end of last year. That was expected and had been expressed by processors at the end of last year. The back step is just driven by trying to rebuild margins still, given the volatile overseas situation. It's not been helped by a rocketing New Zealand dollar, which hit about 73 cents USD at one point last week. However, manufacturing beef sales to the US are going pretty well, but again, it's a pretty volatile situation over there at the moment, so it's hard to see where this is going to end up, and again, they will be pressurised by the exchange rate. In terms of cattle trading, last week there wasn't a ton of activity to report on. As said, a lot of people were still holidaying, and trading cattle wasn't really on their minds, especially if they returned to lots of grass on farm, which was the situation in both the North and South Island after really good rain over the Christmas period. And on to the lamb side of things, lamb slaughter prices also took a bit of a back step. They're around that mid-6 range still, which is what processors did indicate to us would be the landing mark. However, with lockdowns and just all the overseas turmoil at the moment, we've still not got a lot of access to restaurant trade. It's pretty hard to tell where that low tide mark will be. Processors are reporting that there's still a bit of trouble with lamb yields at the moment, just because there's been a lot of rain on their backs lately, so a bit of sunshine would not go astray, especially as we're kind of stepping into fatal eczema territory at the moment, as well as fly blow issues where it's quite warm and wet in places, especially in the South Island. Mutton price remains really good compared to previous years. It's really proving its worth as a really versatile cut of meat that's, really attractive in this climate where there's not a lot of restaurant trade going on and people are being very money conscious at the moment. In terms of lamb trade, there was a lot more enthusiasm evident in both the North and South Island because people did return home from holiday and there was a lot of grass that needed control, and so minds turned to lambs. The fielding sales saw a really good average lamb price compared to the last sale of 2020, and it was also up on this time last year, which is a great result and bodes well for this week of trading. The South Island also had a good result at Opawa Downs, where there was a lot of interest. In both islands, that interest has been meeting a pretty soft supply of lambs, so there is a supply-demand imbalance, and it'll be interesting to see how the market handles that when there's more lambs on the market. In next week's report, we're expecting there's going to be a lot more store activity to report because it's a full week instead of that shorter week we had last week, and everyone will probably be back on the ground ready to go to work, and there should still be that interest in finding mouths to control the abundance of grass we've got in places at the moment.